Hi guys, welcome to Food for Thought. This is Eddie. I'm going to do a quick video on my quail setup and how simple this has been. There's a few things I've got to talk to you about. Okay, talk to you in a minute. So let me just take you around. I'm obviously going to show you with the door closed because these guys are constantly trying to jump out of the cage when I open the door. Although it's 7 o'clock in the evening, these guys are just quiet just now. So I've got two cages. So I've got this one, oh shush dog, and then I've got that one down there. Last week I decided to take the males out of here. Actually, I had extra males. I had 3 set aside, and I took the 3 males out of here. I actually butchered them yesterday. I should have videoed it because it's so easy to do, but the next time I do, I'll definitely video it. But I decided that this cage here, with just the females, is purely and simply egg production for us. Whereas this one down here, we've got 2 males for the 7, I think, females that are in there. And then I will be incubating some of these eggs. So let me just show you what I've got in here for the setup. I've got plastic containers. Sorry, they're like 2.5 inches, 2 inches tall. I've got 2 of those in there, and that's for their sand trays. They love being in there. They're always dust bathing. It's a natural thing for quails or any ground dwelling birds. Get out, dog. Excuse me. Dog's knocking things over. It's a natural thing for ground dwelling birds to get into the dust bath, and any birds love it. Get rid of parasites. But obviously, being in cages, they don't have parasites. It's not like they're walking around and picking up fleas and ticks and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to show you how I set up my dust baths. I'll do that in a minute. It's also important to have a nice long feeding tray, because you don't want competition in your trays at all for food. So when you put in a long one, even when you've got like 8, 10, 12 birds in an 8-foot cage, which is, you can see they've got tons of room, it makes it an easy time for them. They don't have to compete. These have actually been moved. This is normally sort of dead center. I'll put it dead center, and these are usually ones in the corner and ones over there. I also have a thanks to Mark Reynolds, a friend of mine, who's given me these plastic tubes. Let me see if sorry, they're paper tubes. I can actually get in closer. Excuse me for moving. So these paper tubes, and they make a great hidey hole for them. The other birds that are down below, there's usually about 2 or 3 of them just sitting in there. But most of the time, the birds are in, especially the females in here, are in there. So this is about 7 o'clock. This is usually the time I come in to collect the eggs. You'll see. And there are going to be eggs, let me move. And they're really easy to handle. Just move them gently. Yeah. But they produce almost 1 a day. Out of I think there's 9 females that are in here. I'll usually get like 7 a day out of this lot. But it's trying to find them. You got to make sure that, let me just take this off the tripod and I'll show you. You got to be careful of where you're looking. Just check around everywhere, because bird, out of the way. Review, because you never know where you're going to find one. So that could actually easily get smashed if I hadn't looked around beforehand. That would actually get smashed if I move that back into the corner where it normally sits. So that's what I'm going to do with that. But they're normally, with these girls, they're normally in the cages, in the boxes. You know, so there you go, there's 4 in there. So I've got 2, there's 4, there's 5, and then you got the one over there, it's 8. Let me put this back on that tripod. And that is that. So let me just move this back. So what I use is just I went to the dollar store, just grab a wicker basket, you know, putting some fluff in the bottom, and then just a paper towel that can come out and get cleaned out. I actually feel like I want to have long pigtails and skip when I'm holding this, but let's move this back in here. And you know, as I said, you've seen they're gentle birds, so all you got to do is, you know, get around them. Excuse me, ladies. Make sure to get the one that's over here. I can move that back. And then sometimes in the morning, let me just turn this back. So sometimes in the morning time when they're all hyper and skittish or the sun's come up, they are trying to jump out. You got to literally put your arm across there because they jump out the cage. They have no fear of out of here, but they just land on the floor and just sit there. So it's easy enough just to pick them up, and they're easy birds to pick up. You know, they're not aggressive or anything like that. They're not, you know, friendly bird. It's not like they're coming, you know, chickens run around your feet going, feed me. You know, but you know, as long as typically with all the animals I have, if you treat your animal with respect, it's not going to be frightened of you. So you never want your animals to be frightened of you. So treat your animals with respect. So let me get this done with the second crew that I've got down there. Get the second lot picked up, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the sand trays. Okay, bye. Just before I go and do the sand trays, I just wanted to show you exactly what I got today. So there you go. There's my haul for the day. I got 6 out of the 7 birds and 8 out of the 9 birds, and that's about average, you know, from what I'm getting. About 14 a day, anywhere between a dozen to 14 eggs per day is the production that I'm getting for now, just with 2 small cages, which is good eating. So I'm pleased with that. Alright guys, welcome back. So let me show you what I'm going to do with sand. Get it down here. Okay, so you can either use just the normal gravel. I don't know if I can talk to you. You can either use, you know, if you watched my garden update yesterday, you'll see that I've still got a bed of sort of dirt, gravel type stuff. You know, I scraped when I first got them. I was scraping the gravel off and giving them to that because they had big bit, you know, different sizes of pieces of grit and stuff like that, which is perfect because they'll want to eat some, put it in their, to be able to grind up their food in the crop. But I decided, along with a little bit of that, I'll still put some of it. I just nicked myself there. I decided to use play sand. I just go to my local TSC. You can pick up a big bag of this for like $5, and it lasts quite a while. The reason why I went for play sand is that I know for a fact it's clean. So, you know, it hasn't been, you know, there hasn't been any of the local dogs walk past having shit on the sand and then owner picking it up, or dogs peeing on it, or squirrels doing whatever, cats. I know this is clean. So this is a big thing for, especially if the birds are in the cages here. I want to keep them clean, keep them healthy. So all I do is get a nice big scoop of play sand. The beauty about play sand as well is when it's really, really hot, if you just get a water sprayer and then spray down the sand, it gets obviously all heavy, and because you can, like typical sand, you know, this has been sitting out and drying in the hot day, but this is for making sandcastles and stuff for play. So it's designed to be able to take in a lot of water. If you water that down, even like, you know, 2-3 times a day, they'll try and still kick it over themselves, but it generally just falls off them. But as this is evaporating, it's going to keep them cool. So you'll have, you know, 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them. I've sometimes had them, you know, that have been all in the two sand pots. You know, they'll all sit in different directions, and they're sitting there as it's dehydrating. They're keeping cool. So this is a really easy way to keep your quail cool. Also, quail are foragers by nature. They're foragers. So although I put the big tray out for food, they can come along and pick them up. I just go to my local dollar store, my Dollarama, it's $2, and pick up budgie food. And this has got, you know, it says natural vitamin, mineral enriched. It's just, you know, different seeds, millet, and there's also all sorts of different types of seeds in there. But we just grab, you know, I don't know if I'm doing this right or not, but, and I just put about a handful or 2 in there, and then just mix it in. Get your hands in, get it down. So get the seeds in there, and then just mix it around, get it in there, because they're going to have to scrape and scratch to find that seed, which is going to fulfill their need to forage. So although they're in a cage, you can still bring out the nature in the bird. So that's how I do it. So let's get it put in. Okay, ladies. And you'll see with that one, poor bird. She used to be a very well liked bird by the boys, and they used to pull her by the back of her head. Is feathers are being pulled out, and the feathers at her tail end is being pulled out. Poor girl. You can see that one's starting to forage, starting to pick out the seeds. Okay, so welcome back. So let me talk quickly about why I've decided to, and I'm actually going for a 3rd cage, because the finances of keeping these comparing to the rabbits is actually quite astounding. I've obviously got 2 cages at the moment going with these feeders. That feeder only has to be filled up once a day. Filled it, I mean completely filled it, but that will last all day until tomorrow morning. A bag of feed, same as the rabbits, is about $15. I actually use turkey starter because it's got higher protein in it. But I use the turkey starter, which is about, for a 25 kilo bag, so it's 50 something pounds, is about $15. And I've gone through 1 in a little over a month. So you can see that when you're having like a dozen eggs per day for the cost of a few cents as such a day for the feed, it is monetarily worthwhile to me to actually keep the birds. It's let me actually, I don't know if you can actually see this. I'm going to pause this and come back to my train. You can see the birds love their sand trays. Every single bird. You got a bit of a sandwich in there. You got there's about 6 in there. But the birds absolutely love their sand trays. So it's well worth looking after your birds because you're going to get them producing. And then when you're talking about production, and thankfully in Ontario, well, obviously in Ontario, I cannot sell my processed meat. That has to be for family consumption only. I'd have to take them to a processor, they process it, I bring it back and I sell it. But obviously the price of it then goes way up. Whereas I can sell live rabbits, and my last 4 litters, I had over the past sort of 3 weeks. I've sold, all 30 of my rabbits. I didn't have to, produce them all. So I've sold all 30 of my rabbits at $10 each, and $300. Higher income, but with these guys, for some reason, eggs for them are classic. So I can easily sell a dozen eggs. So per day, I can make $2 to $3 per day selling eggs. And I can sell eggs from the house. So I can actually sell them to my friends, my family. I can, I cannot take them to a farmer's market. I cannot sell them to a store for resale, stuff like that. They would have to go through inspection and all that kind of stuff. But I can sell eggs from my house. So this is actually, obviously, at the moment I'm using them all. I'm going to do a recipe tomorrow for pickling quail eggs. I use them almost all the time. They're lovely for making salads. Oh my god, I absolutely adore them in salads. You obviously, you're cooking. It's a pain in the neck to break 9, 10, 12 eggs. Because that's what you'll need to make a decent size omelette or scrambled eggs. But their health benefits are so outweighing the chicken eggs because of the cholesterol. It's not like some people say, oh, there's a lot less calories, but yeah, but they're a lot smaller. But the cholesterol is the one that I'm looking at. Obviously, being a fat guy, I got to look after the cholesterol, So. And that's it. I'm going to come back and do another couple of videos on the feed, because I'm doing things that I'm looking at. Let's see if I can get a little bit more natural feed. So I'm going to show you that tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So thanks very much. This is Eddie from the Food for Thought. Thought I'd just give you a bit of an update. Thank you for your support. Take care. Bye.